working to build a culture of health for all Americans. On the web at rwjf.org. From the Melville Charitable Trust, supporting solutions to prevent and end homelessness. On the web at melvilletrust.org. And from John and Catherine Deb, in support of NPR's new global headquarters and production center in Washington, D.C. This is NPR.
My mother's mother was named Belle, a name she never liked, perhaps because it meant beautiful, and she was not. Later, Karen Anderson. Belle was what she would call a handsome woman, with a large nose, wide mouth, and high forehead. She didn't like the name grandmother either because it made her feel old. So we grandchildren called her Nana. I didn't think about it being. I thought about her kind smile and sly sense of humor, and the always pulled off the Scottish shortcut. Nana and Grandpa lived about a mile away when I was growing up, so I spent a lot of time at their house, which was a refuge from the uncertainties of my own family. On the old Victorian couch in Nana's living room, or in one of the twin beds upstairs, I felt safe, accepted, loved. She and I often sat together on the front porch, sipping ginger ale and knitting shorthairs, while she told me about her early career as a teacher and her courtship by my grandfather. Now, all these years later, I realize how little I knew about her life. Maybe 10%. And what a big difference she made in mine. 10%. And yet, it was enough. Karen Anderson lives in Traverse City.
This is Weekend Edition from NPR News. I'm Wade Goodman. This week, the NCAA voted to allow colleges to provide their student athletes with as much food as they like. It may sound like a bizarre move, but what the NCAA allows athletes to eat on the college's dime is subject to its own set of rules. They can sometimes border on the absurd. The move by the NCAA comes at a time when the organization is facing a bit of second guessing about the way it's gone about its traditional role in policing college athletics. We're joined by Joe Nocera from the studio in New York. He's a columnist for the New York Times and has been writing about the NCAA. Joe, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
Let's start with the news this week. More meal money for college athletes. Is this an important development, no big deal, or a strategic retreat by the NCAA?
I vote for strategic retreat. You know, they used to have a rule that if you're a student athlete, you could have a bagel with a choice of cream cheese on it. That would be a violation of NCAA rules. The NCAA regulates almost every aspect of an athlete's life. And they do it supposedly for competitive talent reasons, but it really has gotten kind of nutty. And I hope that this is the first of many strategic retreats.
The biggest news of late has been a ruling that will allow Northwestern football players to form a union. How do you think that's going to impact the NCAA?
Well, I think it already has impacted the NCAA. It has created an enormous amount of awareness of what athletes have to go through, how much they have to work, the extent to which their sport comes before academics, and so on and so forth. So I think it has had a large impact already. The vote is on April 25th, and the Northwestern coach is on record as saying he wants the players to vote against the union. I suspect it will be an uphill struggle to get the union approved, given the pressure that's on these 18 and 19-year-old kids to vote down.
And why have a union?
One of the big problems in college sports is that there's nobody advocating for the players. And the idea of having a union is to give the players a seat at the table and to allow them to negotiate for things like improved medical care, guaranteed scholarships. They're not even asking for money at this point. A large part of the problem here really is that universities of higher education really aren't equipped to be running a major American
Sergio Vaz, the creator of Cooperica, which sponsors the recent poetry evening. The event has been going on now for over a decade, and it spawned many other satellite evenings in other core parts of the capital. This brought from Sergio's father. He grew up here among the tables and schools. When poetry evening began, he said people in the neighborhood reacted with skepticism, but slowly it gained a passionate following.
Então, a gente está na região onde as pessoas sofrem muito. We are in an area where people suffer a lot. Lack of security, lack of healthcare, lack of education, lack of facilities, lack of culture. So they write things down on paper. We put all that in our writing. We want to listen to the poor. We want to listen to the needy. Nobody. We want success because this is a place where people can be heard.
The day of the bar talk goes lights down. The blind woman who's in her 70s takes the microphone. She's quickly followed by an 11-year-old girl. Many of those listening are young, in their teens or early 20s. Last by some who come to home saying they've been inspired to return to school or go on to higher education because they were moved by the words spoken to them. There are poets anywhere, but participants write poems about their hopes, dreams, fears, what they know. Sergio Vaz begins with his poem, which is an homage to Azevedo's Lemonade. His poem is the story of two men, one was born in poverty. He recites, being a weed, he never had a spring. He was born without father, mother, horizon, or direction. He on the ground never even had a bicycle. The other was born in wealth. He recites, he wasn't born in career, light skinned, never had winters, had a father, mother, schoolbook, or even a fairy godmother. The poem goes on to tell how both men became criminals. For one, a shoemaker, the other, a corrupt businessman. The poem ends with a description of the two men's fate. He recites, the one with the gunpowder rots innocent, the one with the pen gets rich unpunished. To one, the only thing remaining is to look for salvation. The other is a presidential candidate. Another poet, Maestro Antonio Rodriguez, takes the mic. And suddenly, nothing was lacking at the favela, he recites. Sewers, electricity, piped water, sanitation was no longer basic. It was complete. He goes on listing all the things that changed, and the poem ends with just being a dream, and him waking up to the sound of an alarm to head off to the curfew. After he finishes, Rodriguez tells us he comes here because he wants to show the people here his dream.
Dizer que na periferia tem criatividade. We want to show that there is creativity in art and curriculum. That there are people here who can produce work that people who live on the other side of the bridge could never imagine.
Some 50 people in all take the podium, and the listening and the reciting go on late the night. So this listening of art and pure news follows.
Public speaking can be nerve-wracking, whatever your native tongue. It can be especially difficult for immigrants who speak English as a second language. NPR's Angelo Wong tells us about a group in California strengthening the voices of immigrant tech workers in Silicon Valley.
Madam Toastmasters, fellow members and guests, have you laughed today?
Engineer Dick Agawam confronts her fear of public speaking with laughter. Not literally, but that's the topic of her speech at the Articulators Toastmasters Club held this evening in a mirrored dance studio at the Indian Community Center of Milpitas, California.
Alina Thiel, longest greetings, salutations. What is kind of talk? Is there anything better than a contagious giggling that you can't control?
This is Agawam's seventh speech since joining Toastmasters 2 years ago. You can see a slight tremble in her fingers, which is an improvement. Before she finished, you would also hear a tremor in her voice.
I wasn't that comfortable. You feel like butterflies.
Those butterflies can be felt in the more than 14,000 Toastmasters clubs around the world. Members usually meet once a week to practice giving speeches, which are timed to the second and judged for grammar and presentation. Here at this Silicon Valley chapter, members work on oratorical skills in a community of mostly immigrants from India.
Were you always this comfortable speaking with people?
Abdi Shah joined the club 2 years ago after marrying her engineer husband and moving from India to settle in Georgia. But looking for her first job in the U.S., she said she needed more confidence. Those factors gave it to her, but revealing some of the quirks of American English.
To give you an example, when we were kids, if somebody is not behaving, you would say, hey, I'll tell about you to your mother or whoever, right? So here people say, I'll tell on you. People don't say, I'll tell about you.
Aside from mastering American idioms, speaking well in public is also about attitude. Henry Miller, a guest speaker at
Batteries are starting to run low. Keep going until it stops.
Will it record it though?
It's recording right now. Yeah, it'll have recorded what it recorded.
is the ideal environment for overcoming the fear of public speaking.
Here, you can come and you do well, you clap. You don't do very well, you sit with the laugh.
That kind of
Oh, by the way, I'm
encouragement is just what many immigrant tech workers need in Silicon Valley.
They know exactly what they want to say. They know their products. They know their job very well. But sometimes just to communicate your ideas, that's where they fall down.
If you cannot communicate well to your superiors or to the CEO or whoever is looking at you, they will not figure out whether you're smart enough. It's unfortunate, but that's the fact.
Club co-founder Sunil Tobar remembers shivering on stage when he gave his first speech. He says the key is to tackle your inner critic head on.
Go out there and do it. I don't care. I'm going to speak. And that's the way I'm going to get better.
And in case you need any extra incentive, meetings end with an award ceremony, complete with impromptu jokes.
Drum roll. Needy.
Needy Agarwal joins in on the applause. She rushes forward to collect an award for her speech on laughter. What did your ribbon say?
I've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left of taping of data space.
Massachusetts, Agarwal will only get
We're at 1700. Oh! Nice job! Awesome! Woo! That was awesome. How many was that?
1,735.
Nice.
Beat my record.